What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am bringing you the last deck, unfortunately, before I start doing my Celestial Storm decks. So just a heads up, that will take place on Friday. The first Celestial Storm deck will, as that's the day it is released. There will not be an upload this Thursday. I do apologize for that. Just wanted to make sure that I have everything good to go, so as soon as Celestial Storm is released, I'm able to trade for what I need, maybe even pull what I need if I feel lucky, and then go from there. So yeah, last upload before Celestial Storm. Very, very excited about it, and I hope you guys are too. And before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you guys like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton and lets us do more cool stuff for you guys. And if you have not done so already, please feel free to check out the TTM Discord linked in the description below, where we have channels for not only TCG, but Smogon and draft format content as well. And finally, the question of the day, considering this is going to be going up very beginning of August, we can all tell that the summer is slowly winding down, unfortunately. So my question of the day is, what plans do you guys have for the end of the summer? Are you guys going on vacation? Are you guys just chilling? Because I mean, like, a lot of people, myself included, have already done the majority of their summer plans up to this point, and they just use August as a transition period into the next school year. For me, this is my last summer ever, and I'm enjoying my last August by just relaxing. I'm going to a baseball game with my girlfriend and my family on Thursday, so very, very excited about that. But other than that, I am just going to be relaxing, trying to put out some Celestial Storm content if I am able to, and hopefully I will be able to. So yeah, those are my summer plans. What plans do you guys have for the end of summer? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Love to hear what you guys have got going on. But anyway, on to the deck. This deck is centered around Alolan Ninetales, both forms of it, but mainly Alolan Ninetales-GX, and I totally did not steal this deck from Aurabomb. This is a completely original idea that just so happens to be basically exactly his list, and also use the exact same numbers of Mons and everything. So yeah, totally not an Aurabomb idea that I took, because we all know me, I never take any ideas from Aura. I mean, he's just kind of meh, so I don't even bother. Just kidding. This is completely an Aurabomb deck that I saw and thought was really, really cool, so I had to try it out for myself, centered around Alolan Ninetales. And if you guys are subscribed to both of us, you know that Aurabomb loves himself some Alolan Ninetales, and I was like, you know what? This has probably fallen out of favor quite a bit, but this still could be a very fun deck to try out. So, I mean, I'm just going with it. Alolan Ninetales-GX has a couple very good, actually has all three pretty solid attacks. Ice Blade for a DCE, does 50 damage to a single Pokemon. Doesn't knock out any of the baby basics like it used to, but it's still good for racking up damage, putting things in range of Blizzard Edge, which for 3 energy does 160, and you discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. Very, very solid attack. Very easy to power up, and also just get a ton of damage off. And then Ice Path GX, if Alolan Ninetales gets heavily damaged, you move all damage counters from this Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. Very strong, just a way to heal Alolan Ninetales while potentially getting a knockout. And if they are already damaged, then you still move all the damage counters onto them. It just stacks on top of that. So that is very, very cool. Very excited to try this thing out in the new meta. And then also with the Alolan Ninetales with Luminous Barrier, so that we can potentially stop other GX decks, or I guess technically EX decks are still in the format for the time being, but EX decks are still there. So having Luminous Barrier just prevent both of those from hitting us is very, very strong. And then Aurora Beam for 3 energy does 80, not the greatest, but if you combine Luminous Barrier with Aurora Beam, then it's so much better. Put a Choice Band on there, then you're actually two-shotting almost, I believe it's all basics and stage 1s, I could be wrong, but I think all basics and stage 1 GXs you'll be able to knock out in 2 hits if you have Aurora Beam with a Choice Band. And then for the rest of the Mons, it's just kind of support for it as well. We have 2 Tapu Koko with Free Retreat, and for a DCE does Flying Flip, which does 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Just kind of sets them up for Blizzard Edges from Alolan Ninetales. Just Free Retreat's very nice, 110 HP, it's not going down very quickly or anything like that. So it's just a nice starter to have out there to spread damage around, but also that Free Retreat is almost invaluable in many, many cases. So we got a couple of those. We have a single Mewtwo because Buzzwole, even though it's fallen out of favor a decent amount with Necrozma, it's still there, and so we have Mewtwo to be able to take that on. And also Necrozma, if we are able to bring that thing up before it discards all of its energy off of it, we can Psychic it for a potential one-hit knockout, which is very, very strong. So Mewtwo, even though this is intended for Buzzwole, the fact that Necrozma is in the meta actually makes Mewtwo a little bit better in this deck. Granted, Necrozma does discard all of its energy, so it's not as effective as it normally would be. Well, as you would hope it would be, but I mean, it still has the potential if you're able to Guzman that thing up. 2 Lele, just because Lele into Brigette is the ideal start for this deck. 2/2 of Remoraid and Octillery. Oh, and we also have 4 of the Alolan Vulpix, because Alolan Vulpix, in addition to being a stepping stone for Alolan Ninetales, helps you search out your mons and get them set up a little bit quicker and easier. 2/2 of Remoraid and Octillery for draw support, for Pokemon draw support. And then we are trying out the Volcanion Prism Star with Jet Geyser. Once during your turn, you may discard a water energy from your hand. Your opponent switches their active Pokemon with one of their bench Pokemon. So unfortunately, you don't get to pick what they switch into, but in cases where they only have one bench Pokemon, you're able to bring that thing up. Just basically the ability to force your opponent to switch, even though you don't get to choose, can be very, very devastating for your opponent in the right situation. So that's why this is still there. And then Sauna Blast for 3 water energy only does 100, and then 20 bench damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. I mean, it's not great, but I mean, it's an attack that you can use if you need it. So it's a solid mon. I'm excited to try this card out. Don't really think I've ever been able to actually use it, so I'm very excited to try it out in this deck. Then as for the items, just a very, very straightforward item list. I actually really like this. You have 4 Aqua Patches for maximum acceleration, 4 Ultra Ball to guaranteed get the mons you want when you want them, 2 Field Blower just to get rid of pesky things like Choice Band, and then Garbodor's Float Stones because Garbotoxin can be annoying. 1 Rescue Stretcher as our method of Pokemon recursion, because as you can see, we do not have any energy recursion apart from Aqua Patch, because we want to keep the energy in the discard pile so that Aqua Patch can be most effective. Do be careful though, if you overextend. I mean, you can only get 4 energy into the discard pile back with Aqua Patch, so don't just be like, oh, I can just discard all the water energy I could possibly want in my first turn and then just Aqua Patch back. Be careful about not overextending with that. We have 2 Brooklet Hill as yet another way of trying to get mons out. Basically, this deck you just need to get set up as quickly as possible, and we have a multitude of ways that we are able to do that. As for the supporters, 1 Brigette, because Lele into Brigette is the ideal start. Just get a bunch of Vulpix out, get like a Koko and a Remoraid out, just whatever you decide that you want to bring out in a given situation. We have a 3/3/2 of Cynthia and Sycamore. There's a couple less than usual. I think it's usually like a 4/3/3 that I have been running, but 2 of them went into Mallow just because Mallow, when combined with Octillery, yes, it's no Mallow with Zoroark, and you probably could run Zoroark in this deck, because Zoroark is probably the most splashable card I think I've ever seen. Well, you know, apart from Shaman, but I mean, Zoroark can actually attack, and can attack reliably in almost any given deck just because it attacks for DC, but that's a topic for another time. But still, Mallow with Octillery is very strong. Just getting 2 cards to the top of your deck and then potentially being able to Octillery into them is, I mean, it's what it does. It's what Mallow does with Zoroark, so we just kind of have a pseudo way of dealing with that, and that's where the extra Cynthia and the extra Sycamore went. And then 3 Guzma, because 3 Guzma are very strong, just bringing out whatever you want of your opponent. And we also have a pseudo Guzma in Volcanion, but I mean, again, you don't want to necessarily have to rely on that as much, so that's why we still have the 3 Guzma. We have 3 Choice Band to boost the damage output. Then as for the energy, you have 4 DCEs, just because that's what everything in this deck runs on, apart from the Volcanion. I mean, Ninetales, DCE, Lele, Mewtwo, Koko all work off of DCE. So just being able to slap that onto them and attack is great. And then 8 water energy. So this is why I say be careful with how much you discard the water energy, just thinking that you can get it back with Aqua Patch. Aqua Patch gets back half of your water energy. So that means if you discard 4 to get the maximum use out of Aqua Patch, you only have 4 in the deck. So be be very, very careful about how much you decide to just discard the water energy. But yeah, that being said, that is the deck, and let's just go ahead and see this deck in action. Alrighty, we have found one against what looks like it's going to be I'm thinking a Necrozma Malamar deck, and it's a Trombus, by the way. I was just looking at the typing of the deck and thinking what it could be. I'm thinking that it's a Necrozma Malamar, and then the fighting type is probably Marshadow. So either way, my baby Ninetales, or my Aurora Veil Ninetales, I believe, is going to be able to do absolute work this game. And I start off with a couple Vulpix and a Mewtwo. Mewtwo will be great if I can bring up like a fully powered Necrozma and knock that thing out in one hit. I think I have to have a Choice Band as well to do that, but I think it still should be good. Let's go ahead and just play that. I don't have anything in my hand, so I'm going to be kind of relying on my opponent to give me something, and unfortunately, I mean, we don't even go first, so that's like, it's kind of just a double whammy, and this isn't even a particularly competitive deck. I mean, it's a deck that can get you some wins, but at the same time, like, it's not Necrozma Malamar. Like, plain and simple, Necrozma Malamar is a played and proven deck in its success, whereas Alolan Ninetales really doesn't have much showing in the top levels of competition. So yeah, I mean, it's just plain and simple. This is going to be interesting. If we can keep Alolan Ninetales up and my opponent isn't able to Guzma around it, then I do have a chance. Otherwise, yeah, this is gonna be just bad and not getting any better very quickly. And also the fact that my opponent has the Dawn Wings means my Volcanion is going to be doing absolutely nothing, and I get. Man, this is not a good start. I start off with... Okay, so what I think I'm going to do, let's just go ahead and Guzma up the Necrozma, so if he has... I mean, if he can Psychic Recharge, I mean, yeah, he can just invade, but I don't know. Let's just go ahead and use a Guzma, bring that up, and then grab an Octillery, and I think I just want another Vulpix. I don't think I want to start going for my Ninetales just yet, because with my very poor setup, I need to get more stuff going. So, oh no, oh my gosh. So my opponent turn 2 gets 2 Malamars, and I did not get a draw supporter and still have nothing going. So this, quite frankly, is looking downhill, or is looking bad, and it's not going to get much better. We even see the Professor Sycamore. I see the Float Stone, so it doesn't even matter. We see the Max. Oh my gosh, this is going to just be very bad, because now my opponent will more than likely be able to attack this turn. Yep, we see 1 Psychic Recharge. We're probably going to see a second as well. And yeah, I mean, that's... Quite frankly, like, there's nothing that I can do about that right there. Just, yeah, I mean, he's able to get 2 Malamars up turn 2, able to immediately attack, and I have no supporter. I have nothing. This is, honestly, probably the best possible start for my opponent. I mean, maybe, like, 1 more Malamar would be an even better start. But, yeah, this start is bad. Even the fact, well, I guess he had the Float Stone, so it really didn't matter that I Guzma'd up anything. Let's go ahead and Rescue Stretcher, put a Vulpix back into my hand, get another one down, and pray that I can draw into a draw supporter. I'm gonna empty my deck as much as I can, and okay, Abyssal Hand, give me something I can work with, please. You've got to be kidding me. I have absolutely nothing right now. Like, this is... Man, this is brutal. I am just getting destroyed right now, and there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, my opponent will once again be able to... My opponent will be able to knock out a Vulpix again. My opponent will take 2 prizes. Like, the only thing with Malamar is it takes a couple turns to get set up, but if I can do absolutely nothing in the meantime, then I'm just going to get steamrolled, plain and simple. Like, Yeah, my opponent's going to be able to take 2 prizes before I even get a Ninetales on the board, and I only have 1 energy, so this, quite frankly, is awful. Like, this is... I don't even know what to... Like, I don't even know how to describe it. This is just truly, truly atrocious. And a 3rd Malamar, so by turn 3, my opponent has 3 Malamar up, and has 3 Malamar up, and is about to take 2 prizes. Meanwhile, I don't even have a single Ninetales up, and I mean, I guess that's okay. I mean, I need my Alolan Ninetales. I need to get that ASAP, otherwise I'm just screwed. So I'm finally gonna get some stuff going. Get another Octillery. Nothing really worth it in the deck at this moment. Choice Band up the Alolan Vulpix, and I have to get the Safeguard Ninetales or bust, and I do luckily draw into it, because if I didn't draw into it, then that was pretty much just GG. Just I would have no chance at that point. Even going to be able to get an Alolan Ninetales up as well. Let's Choice Band up that thing, and then Abyssal Hand, and we're finally going to get something going. Nothing really pertinent in the hand right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and begin the process of 2-shotting everything with my, it's not even Aurora Veil, but basically my just Safeguard Ninetales. Like, I'll be able to live every hit. I will be able to 2-shot everything, assuming he doesn't get rid of my, does not get rid of my Choice Band, and Mewtwo needs a Choice Band of its own to knock out the Necrozma, so I think I might start targeting that thing down. I just need 1 turn. I need 1 turn for free in order to be able to... Yeah, I need 1 turn for free in order to take out his Necrozma with my Mewtwo, because what I need to do this coming turn is... Ah, crap, even as a Cynthia. So the N, unfortunately, did not stick. If the N stuck right there, I would have potentially had a turn. Because if he got the Cynthia next turn, then I would be able to bring up the Necrozma and take it out, but now he has a chance to draw into a Guzma. I mean, admittedly, it's still a small chance, but it's a better chance to draw into Guzma than he had previously. So yeah, this is not looking the greatest for me. Luckily, this Ninetales, he can't Guzma around it for this turn, so I will be able to take 2 prizes this upcoming turn. But at the same time, I have absolutely nothing set up in the background. This is a very poor situation. Yeah, Dark Flash is not going to be able to do any damage to me. I learned that the hard way with Hoopa, and I do get an Aqua Patch, which is actually pretty annoying. Because it's a card that I just can't play out of my hand. So what I'm going to do... I cannot Guzma and Choice Band this turn, or I cannot Guzma and Mallow this turn, so let's just go ahead, see, okay, there's 1 Guzma. Do I want to just grab the Volcanion? Yeah, I think I do, and there is a Choice Band left in the deck too, so I'm going to go ahead and just grab the Volcanion. It really doesn't... Actually, what I can do with the Volcanion... Do I want to force a switch out? Because I definitely can. I can force my opponent to switch out by discarding a Water Energy, which would then activate Aqua Patch. But I want to keep this Dawn Wings... Yeah, I want to keep this Dawn Wings in the active, so I can 2-shot that thing and then Guzma up the Necrozma next turn. So what I'm actually going to do is just take advantage of the fact that I have 2 Octilleries, go ahead and draw into the Choice Band. It was important that I played the Choice, or put the Choice Band on top, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to play the Guzma and wouldn't have the Choice Band. So now I am just going to go ahead and Aurora Beam Luminous Barrier. That's what it is. I mean, to be fair, Aurora Veil made sense. But yeah, we're just going to take 2 prizes and, quite frankly, just pray that my opponent doesn't have a Guzma, because if he does not, then I'll be able to take a knockout. Like, I'll be able to knock him out, and I will actually be in a very good position, because then my opponent will not have any Mons going. And I will be able to... Okay, so he has 4 energy on the... Ah, crap. So he's going to be able to... I think he's going to be able to Lele this turn. Grabs the Lunala. Oh, boy. That's one way of getting around my Alolan Ninetales. That's bad. That is... That's not good. Oh, boy. So... Yeah, he's going to be able to start powering up the Lunala. And as long as that thing does not get, like... super powered up, like as long as it's not completely powered up this turn, Yeah, as long as it's not completely powered up this turn, I should be okay. And my opponent has a Lele, so he doesn't have a Float Stone even. So my opponent... Okay, please just keep them charged up in the background. That would be amazing for me. And no! Oh no, this is atrocious. Crap. Because he's gonna be able to knock out my Alolan Ninetales, take 2 prizes, and get rid of all that energy. Oh, he Cynthia'd into a Guzma. That's painful. That is so painful right there. Crap. I'm in a very bad spot right now. So what I can do... I'm literally just down to a single Ninetales. Like, all my other Vulpix have been knocked out. Like, there's nothing I can do. I wish I had an N. I really, really wish I had an N right now. I'm just going to Cynthia. Get a fresh hand. See if there's something that I can draw around. Let's play the Koko for the free retreat. Let's Ultra Ball. Okay, Lunala, Psystorm does 20 damage attached to all Pokemon. Crap. So he's definitely going to be able to knock out my Ninetales. So what I have to do... Let's get rid of the Sycamore. Let's just grab an Alolan Ninetales. How can I win this? Is there a way that I can win this? Well, quite frankly, I just need... Let's get the Necrozma out of the active. Because that thing, two-shotting it, I really don't think is going to do a whole heck of a lot. And then... What's he going to promote? Hopefully a Malamar? Actually, no, this is great. Promotes the Lunala Prism Star, which is beautiful for me, because now I can promote my Mewtwo, get a heavy hit off on it. Won't be an Oko, but I will be able to put it in range of Aurora Beam. So that is fantastic for me. I'm just going to Ultra Ball, get more stuff in the discard pile, just thin out my hand a little bit so that I can Abyssal Hand. Let's get rid of 2 of these to grab. Let's grab a Lele, as something's probably going to get knocked out this coming turn. And then let's manually retreat into my Mewtwo. Throw another Water Energy into the discard pile, as I can just attach an energy next turn. And then Psychic's going to be able to do 80. That's enough for a 2-hit KO. And I just pray that he does not have another Guzma, because if he has another Guzma and an energy, then my Ninetales goes down, and it's just the end of the game for me, plain and simple. Like, that's what yeah, that's the play I have to go for. Do we see... Oh, the Field Blower, that sucks. Gets rid of my 2 choice bands. Yeah, I needed those. Man, that I'm just still thinking about that play where he was able to Guzma up my Alolan Ninetales. Literally a turn before I would have completely turned the game around. Like, I would have destroyed him from that point if I had my... I would have destroyed him if I had the ability to just... What am I trying to say? If I had the ability to knock out that Necrozma before he knocked out my Alolan Ninetales. So, yeah, that's bad. And then I don't even have an N. Like, I want an N. I need an N if I'm going to have any chance of winning this game. And he does Parallel City. Which, quite frankly, I mean, as long as it's that way, it's good for me. Because, yeah, that does get rid of my Koko and my Octillery, but as long as he's not reducing the damage, I should have the ability to two-shot stuff. And we see the final energy go into the Lunala. That is fine. Psystorm will hit, and what I can even do this coming turn is end my opponent. My opponent's down to 1 prize, and we still have to take 4. This is really coming down to it, and I even top-decked the end, so finally a little bit of good luck, as I'm able to end him down to 1, and I just have to let this N stick. Like, this N has to stick for me to win. Let's Ultra Ball, grab a Lele, just thin out the deck a little bit more, and then Octillery for a fresh hand of 5, hopefully get something useful. Those Aqua Patches definitely count as something useful, so let's just attach to the Volcanion, and I think I might just want to... Yeah, let's just fully power up the Volcanion, because that will do 100 and then 20 to all of my opponent's bench Pokemon. We knock out the Lunala, which was his one way of being able to knock out my Alolan Ninetales, and then I just have to pray that this N sticks. If this N sticks, I will win the game. Like, plain and simple, no questions asked. Unfortunately, top decks into a Lunala, or not a Lunala, a Dawnwings Necrozma, which... Ah, crap. Is he going to be able to... So, I mean, he can Psychic Recharge 3 times, that's fine. But really, I just need the Guzma. I just need a... well, I don't need the Guzma. I have the Guzma. I need him to... What do I need? I need him to not have Guzma. That's what I was trying to say. If he has Guzma, then I just lose because he Guzmas up Octillery and wins the game. But, okay. So I get the Aqua Patch, and I have the Guzma. So let's go ahead and Aqua Patch onto the Octillery. And then DCE as well, because I'm going to Guzma up the... Do I want to Guzma up the Necrozma or the Dawnwings? I think I want to Guzma up the Necrozma because I can always just knock it out with Volcanion later. And the Dawnwings cannot one-shot Volcanion. So what I'm going to have to do is put this Necrozma in range of being knocked out by... the... What am I trying to say? Let's just get rid of the Parallel City and then put the Necrozma in range of being knocked out by Volcanion next turn. So I just have to pray he does not top deck into the Guzma, because if he has the Guzma, then it's game over. But otherwise, I should be okay. I think. Maybe. We'll see. Because he can't attack, and if he had the Guzma, he'd play it right down, pull up the Octillery, knock it out with Dawnwings. Like, just plain and simple, that would have been... That would be his play. So, and he parallel... Oh, crap. That was a misplay by me. I did not need those 2 extra bench spots. Now I'm going to be doing even less damage and not able to take the one-shot on the Necrozma. So this is bad. This is really bad. So let's go ahead and Mallow. Okay, I do have the Brooklet Hill that I can use. So... Okay, so I'm in a situation right now. I know he has Marshadow in his deck. Like, just... We know that he has Marshadow. We saw the fighting typing. I'm in a position where I need the... Okay, so it's a matter of, do I want to just 3-shot this Necrozma, or do I want to go for the... and give my opponent an extra turn, or do I just want to pray that he doesn't have the Psychic Energy in hand? What I'm going to do is just pray that he does not have the Psychic Energy. I'm going to go for... Okay, I'm just going to go for the fact that he does not have the Psychic Energy on the 1 turn he needs it, versus giving him 2 turns to potentially draw into a Guzma that will win him the game. So that's what I have to go for right now. My opponent does have 2 Malamars. If I can knock them out, then one of them out. I have the Guzma in my hand. We see the Floatstone. Okay, do we see the Psychic Energy? If he has the Psychic Energy, he gets... Oh no, he must have the Psychic Energy. Yep, there it is. Out of 1/3 of his deck, my opponent had the 1 card he needed to win the game. So, yeah, I mean, this game started off very slow. I mean, honestly, this was just a game of, I mean, very meta deck versus non-meta deck. They were able to set up faster. They got, we had horrible luck early on in setting up. Like, we basically just gave them 2 prizes before we got anything. And, I mean, hindsight 2020, knowing that he didn't have the Guzma, I should have just tried to go off of him not drawing into the Guzma, but at the end of the game, let me explain my thought process. So by playing the Brooklet Hill, I gave him automatic access to the Marshadow, right? But what that did is it gave him a window of a single turn in order to draw into the card or cards that he needed in order to win the game. Like, yeah, he could have drawn into a supporter. So, okay, hindsight 2020, I should not have done that because he had more outs in terms of, like, Sycamore, Cynthia, and then just drawing the energy like he had. But I decided that the 1-turn window to get out of it would be better for me than a 2-turn window to potentially draw into Guzma. I mean, of course, I lose, so I wish I would have just done the 2-turn window, but hindsight's 2020. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.